Well, welcome back to this special edition of Wealth Coherence, where we are with Doris Hungartner in Zurich, Switzerland, and with Keturah, my bonus daughter, former stepdaughter. And we are experiencing today Doris's relationship to utilizing gems as a way to help people better understand their relationships and some of the dynamics within them. And we're doing a family constellation based on our family system to experience what this is. And maybe you could share a little bit about the use of gems and your background with gems and why you do this for people.
So first of all, thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be here. Thank you for your interest in gemstones. To me, they're very powerful, beautiful beings, and I feel they have a frequency which picks up our frequency. So you speak of wealth coherence and I speak of gem coherence. I believe we match certain stones, and this I would love to show a bit. So I feel when we met down on the street, you were smiling and almost we were giggling at each other. And this is an orangey spinel, and I named it Giggles because it has this joyful, happy air. And you, I feel, are this very powerful sage woman. And I feel you are a very beautiful aubergine purple spinel from Burma. If you look at this spinel, it is a similar color, but it doesn't quite have that gravitas. Mm-hmm. Therefore, I feel it would be short selling you and you would not be in your full power. I believe gems, they are so incredibly present. And in that presence, we become very present within our own selves. And that also connects us to our own heart. But it's not just the physical heart, it's the heart field. We become heart-centric. And with that, we get to be more centered and create out of a more pure state. Mm-hmm. That's why I feel this would be you, and we put this one aside. And if you kind of watch her react, she likes the stone, but she's aware that she's on camera, so we have to shock her a bit and jolt her a bit. So just to prepare, what I'm trying to do is, this is an incredibly lovely spinel, Giggles, with an orangey, browny, warm, gentle, soft color. And I will bring a stone that has a very similar color, but it's a tourmaline. And just please watch her face, because she will react.
Oh, wow.
And you can see how she hardens. You can see how she closes up and she's like, yeah, this is nice. And if you look at her watching this stone again, you can immediately feel how her field softens and opens and she smiles, and it's a genuine smile. It's not something that she can fake or hide. If we bring this spinel, it's also from Burma, it makes her calmer. It is much more mysterious. It is a gray, but it is more hidden. It's almost more intimate in essence. Mm-hmm. And watch her now smile. This is extremely genuine, and that's what I mean with the gem connects us with our pureness and with our heart. Mm-hmm. If we bring in this spinel, it's big, it's fascinating, but she has no connection to it. Mm-hmm. It leaves her cold, and if you watch her, you can see that happen. If you put this stone next to her, she's in love. Because it's her husband. If you look at this stone, it seems unconspicuous, but it has so much light within it, and it has so many colors, and it has something between a smoky, deep burgundy, almost chocolatey, but it's an incredibly powerful stone, and it has a lot of, I'll say, wisdom. For me, gems are wisdom keepers of the earth. They've been here for, Satellite Garnet has been here for 1 billion years, so they really know a lot. And it's as if they are the structure of our world. And they're like crystallized light. And when they come out of the earth and they are in our field and in our presence, they really help us to align to their frequency. And to me, they're very multi-leveled. If you look at a stone and you say, oh wow, this is so pretty, this has so many carats and this much per carat is the price, the stone's like, it's kind of like, but please see me. Like a person, if you just see a person for their bank account, they might not really show their full love and heart. But if you begin to look at a person beyond and kind of look for the magic within the person, it's the same with the stone, and the person opens up, the gem opens up a lot. You mentioned your family, so I feel this would be your mother-in-law. I think she's a very transparent, very lovely tourmaline. It's from Afghanistan. It is a kind of a lagoon, minty color. It's got a gentle color and it has a bit of a color fade, meaning it's like the glacier when it's dripping away. And maybe there is some deeper symbolism in that, where, you know, the purity of ice, but there's also a closeness, a reservedness within that, becoming more liquid and more available in nourishing. And you mentioned how your father-in-law has a love for colors. And I feel this Cuprian tourmaline, it would be a Paraiba if it were blue or green, but it's in this beautiful magenta color. And I feel it has a lot of strength and zest for life. So this would be part of your family. With your mother-in-law, one could also question if she might even be a very lovely lilac spinel from Vietnam. In Vietnam, they really have incredibly joyful colors. And I find this a very fascinating stone because it has this delightful color and still it can have a certain perceived like heaviness. And I feel if you match it with the right stone, that heaviness dissipates and the joyfulness remains. So it is also, we have many facets and we have many, I'll say, core essences. I feel we have like 3. It's who do we present ourselves to the world? Who are we really, and what is so intimate, and what do we sometimes try to hide? So I love sharing that in a gem mandala, and also to make visible, it's like a crystalline reflection, like a crystalline portrait. And it's fascinating to watch what unfolds, and you see so much through stones without the words, because the gems speak a different language. They don't say, hello, I am Cuprian tourmaline, but they have a frequency and they bathe us in this frequency, and we get to translate that into our human consciousness. If we look at this very beautiful blue spinel from Africa, I feel it would not fit anyone, even though it's a very beautiful blue, but it's too edgy, too, I'll say thin. It's just not as a thin in color. It's just not the right color. Both of them are like, and they can't really hide it. If we bring in this tiny, very crooked, not visible between my fingers, cobalt blue spinel from the Luquien mine in Vietnam, you can immediately see there's a very different fascination. And I wrote 2 books, one's called Purely Paraiba, it's on very, very beautiful Paraiba gems. And the second one is called Gem Love Letters. And in Gem Love Letters, the cobalt blue spinel is called the present of presence. And I feel that is something you embody a lot. You really are so incredibly present also in what you do, that you hold the space, you create the field for people to become present. And I feel in the presence is everything, but in the everything is the nothing. And the nothing, the void, is the base of the everything. So if we allow to drop into the void, that is where everything lies, and then we can create. And the more purely we can create, the more beautiful we create our world and our decisions. And I feel gems are such an incredible, vast wealth, because they show our crystalline nature. They're so old. They're almost infinite. They imbue us with a connection to the infinite, to other dimensions. And with that, we become very much here and can then create a very beautiful world. And when we create out of love and purity and beauty, what we create always has a value and it always has a worth. And I feel that is genuine and true wealth because it is the reflection of who we are within, which is then visible on the outside. And I feel the gems really help us with that.
That's quite something. And it's interesting because I think about, like, we're in Zurich and there's so many jewelers and and I just think about people being so drawn to it, and there's a way in which we're sold that diamonds are what you go for, and you know, people don't even know that these spinels exist, or that, and to know that they all have different frequencies and vibrations, and you might be actually drawn to something that's much more meaningful for you.
And I find it fascinating, the diamond world. I often refer to from diamond to Paraiba. Paraibas were discovered in 1987 in a region called Paraiba in Brazil, and they are turquoise, beautiful gems. Then 2001, they were discovered in Nigeria and Mozambique. This is from Mozambique. And if you tune into the stone, it has such a different frequency to diamond. I love, as a Swiss, I know the mountains, I know the snow, the glaciers, not the ocean. And I love the comparison of the 4 aggregate states of water, where in my world, the frozen water is represented by the diamond, and the liquid water is represented by the Paraiba, also the gas and the plasma. But I feel it is this major shift that is going on in the world where, and this is not about man or woman, it's about masculine and feminine qualities. But I feel that the diamond is more reflective in character and it embodies a lot more masculine qualities. One example is that in the animal kingdom, you have the young male animals fighting each other to find their strength. And diamond can only be polished with diamond. And with the diamond, you have the perfect cut, and then this light comes out. It needs the direct light. It really needs a certain lighting that the sparkles come out. And it's a very hard gem. It's fascinating, that brilliance. It's really astonishing. It's also the way it grows. It's an octahedron, so it's like 2 pyramids on top of each other. Again, I feel it combines the light of the celestial skies with the light from within the earth, and then we cut it and it is visible here. It's comparable to walking on a field of ice or snow where you have the sparkles reflected, you have the sun or the moon reflected. But now we have climate change and we have more diversity. My mom was American, my dad was Swiss, so I'm this new generation of, yes, absolutely. And I feel that is very representative of the Paraiba tourmaline. It has a very different vibration. It's like you heat up or you vibrate higher the ice, which then melts. And the glaciers are melting. Water is a very important resource we get to have, enjoy, and have to be kind of careful with. And I feel there is a lot of nourishing elements in water. Especially this stone, because it is so big and it has this beautiful belly. I feel it is like a womb. It is like the ocean from which we come from. And I feel it brings a very different connection to our origin. And it kind of lets us suddenly expand. We are able to really feel this expansion also in our humanness. And with the rise of the internet, etc., which was about the same time, give a little or take a little years, but we're much more connected. Again, this to me is more representative of the vastness of the Paraiba, where a diamond is much more clear cut and you have the borders, you have the facets, you have the brilliance. It's a different way of looking. And the Paraiba is like, we drink in this color and it is such a beautiful, luminous feeling, which is a different quality.
I can see why you would write a book about it.
Yes, I love them. I really love them.
Yeah, you're totally passionate about it. I wonder, when you think of like a family and a family system and the family dynamics, and everybody has their own particular shape and like their own frequency. Oftentimes when I'm introduced to a family and I interview all the family members, I'll tell them it's as if I've been handed a precious gemstone that's just spectacular, and I get to interview each person from their facet, their
Yes.
vantage point, and see
Yeah.
through their.
Yeah.
And then when I'm done, I see the whole gemstone.
Yes.
And then I'm able to really help them shine as brightly as possible, and not get so distracted by maybe the imperfections or the fractures, but more what's possible in terms of that family's frequency or vibration. And I didn't know if there's a way to that would work within your framework of what you do.
Very much so. And when you speak of the facets, and for me, every single family member is their individual gemstone.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine a family member comes and chooses confidence. Confidence is a beautiful Paraiba from Brazil, and it has an inclusion kind of diagonally through the gem. So that could be representative of something like a real hardship that was difficult to digest, but ultimately once integrated, it is their strength. And then you take this lovely tourmaline. I have to be very cautious what I say. It's a beautiful stone. It is physically bigger than the Paraiba, but it doesn't have as much power. And you take, may I take your...
Please.
You take a similar tourmaline, which is a Cuprian tourmaline. It has a lot more depth. So just to compare the family members, you will see who holds the real power, who might be big, I'll say in a provocative way, maybe also more inflated and weak, and who really holds the power. Now, this is an incredibly big stone. It also really holds a lot of power. But if you think of the presence of presence, it might be the smallest of the bunch here, but it can definitely hold its own with many, many big stones. If you look into this Spinel, it just would feel not quite included into this family. So one could see that and try and make the family round. And not trying to take you away here. So if one could bring someone or something or a project or would you say a facet to bring out an essence or a character of that person to strengthen them, then suddenly the family is in a much better, happier state. And then again, there is coherence, but on every single level. And if you think of how gems have really gone up a lot in value, some of the stones have X'd 5 times in the last 12 years. And you think of what a family with, I'll say power, but it's an internal power, what they can do. It is incredibly beautiful. And I feel that gives a new family picture.
And I love that you brought in these other ones because it makes me think about, I do a lot with purposeful prenups and bringing in in-laws and how do you onboard them. And it's like, oh, how do their gems get to, their vibration get to be incorporated? And maybe the constellation of the family needs to shift, but it doesn't mean that they are outside of the circle. It's more that there's
not at all.
Everybody's strengths, everybody's brilliance gets to shine, and nobody's necessarily threatened by it. Or
they should be helped to be included. They need to find their spot. It's like an orchestra. Ultimately, the perfect sound is harmony when everyone plays together.
Yeah, that's that coherence. It's so every instrument's vibrating in their own way. But it's so beautiful. And I love that you'd say that because Keturah is a talented violinist, and she's been
beautiful.
She's been playing in sessions with different groups of people all over Europe.
So if you think of a family and you think of a violin, I'll say a music piece, and you think of the music piece and the violin.
Both exist.
And for me, for instance, a very beautiful Paraiba from Brazil is like a Stradivari. It's just the ultimate. But it doesn't always have to be a Stradivari. So first, to which family would you play which piece and on which instrument? And if you would then play for the individual family members, what piece would you give them? It's the same with the gems.
And inviting them to sing with you in harmony when they might have different tones, right? So
it's to shine, dare to shine. Because often if one comes into a family and one sees this, be it matriarch, patriarch, whoever. It's just daunting. It's like, ooh. But you see the stones, they're never ooh, they just are. You can see that some stones are better with other stones, and it helps them be more in their presence. There are stones that almost seem, I'll say, shy. It's really astounding. If we take this one, which is an incredibly beautiful lagoon tourmaline. It's called Gentle Calm because it has a Paraiba color, but it is not a Paraiba. I had it tested 3 times. It's not a Paraiba. And you put this stone next to it, it's not. And if you put this stone next to it, it's overpowering. But if you put this stone next to it, there's a song. And that to me is the harmony, and that to me is the family. You whoever matches and who doesn't, you try and integrate. And this one, as odd as it seems, there's a lot of harmony because the punchy yellow helps the kind of cinnamony color to be more present. So how can we help a family member to really come into their own and to flourish and to shine? And that, I feel, creates a wealthy life. And a wealthy life is like, wealth is like worldly health. It's like really this beauty and love from within.
It's fantastic. And do you have any questions based on what was started for you with us, like in terms of a family system? And what you see, or anything, any curiosity?
Well, I noticed when you put that pale purple one in between, I didn't like it.
This one.
Yeah, you put it next to between my in-laws, and I thought that doesn't.
Because it really doesn't go with you.
No, it doesn't.
You can see it's like how do you say, the magnet, it goes against each other, and gems are so, I'll say, clear in their language.
Yeah. And we'll put it away. It's so interesting because anytime somebody marries into a family constellation, into a dynamics, they're going to hit up against something like that. Yeah. And I just think about what it takes to keep moving towards the possibilities and the strengths and the luminosity, as opposed to, oh, I don't like that, it makes me uncomfortable and I don't want to be near it, right?
And you see their presence, and you see what makes their presence more present.
Is that better?
So that's a very big stone. Again, it's a lagoon tourmaline. It's from Mozambique. It's a very rare color. It's super valuable. It could be overpowering, yet it is not. Because it just brings a different, as you say, facet. It brings a different energy, and it lets you kind of be who you are, but it enhances your brilliance.
Wow, it's fascinating. And I wonder too, in terms of somebody who comes into a family and feels that way, how they can feel strengthened within themselves so that that reactivity doesn't have to get in the way of the relating, because it's, it can be challenging with in-laws to.
So we take, we take the stone she doesn't like. So, we could ask, what does she not like?
You can have like a conversation.
Because you can see she immediately retracts. She's like, we really don't want to go there. So what can help her? If the stone would be more present, because this is such an ethereal purple. And I do perceive you as a very present person. I feel you're very much embodied. You're very much here. And it must annoy you so much if someone's kind of constantly out of their body and floating off into the ethers.
So what does this one represent?
It's something you dislike because it's something you do not have in your field. I don't think it's like a shadow aspect. It's more something you might have had as a child. I don't know, but you to me, you are very embodied. So this kind of floaty, fainty, it's like, come on, get a grip. So we put the present of presence, and you can feel how the stone is more present or stable. And we'll put celestial harmony, and it just, again, it makes it calm, it makes it expansive, and even your eyes opened up and they have a different light now, because you're like, Okay, this is a very pretty bell. It's in the magic flute, but you can handle that because at least there is a certain form to it and a certain substance. It's not, because ethereal is very beautiful, but if it's just floating without, how should I say, it's in the nature, it's in the quality. Without the other two stones, this stone is hiding of being in itself. It's not fully present, it's not fully embodied. With these stones, it can actually be the fineness and it's not just dissipating the whole time. So this was a long excursion. But I do feel that is maybe also to show what you say, how can one help a family member? And I feel it's really to try and see them for who they are, which takes some discipline to really look beyond appearance, mannerism, heritage, everything we have in our own mind, but to kind of become neutral and to dare to just really connect with the essence of the gem of a person. And the more they are seen, I feel that's like the two stones, the more they can be. And then we can just let it be for something. It's like in music or like in nature. I love trees. So I have my favorite trees. And some trees, I think, you're a really beautiful tree, but, go over here now because I like this tree much, much better. And I think it's the same. But at least that tree can just be in its present. Because for someone else, they're perfect. I feel it's the same with stones. So I've been speaking about Spinels and tourmalines, Paraíbas, Saberites, and when I started buying stones in 2012, I chose not to invest in diamond, emerald, sapphire, ruby, but into the more newer energy gems. And I feel that is also something, it's like with music, do you like the classics? Do you like highly modern? Is it a more intuitive approach? And also there, I feel we go through phases. I wanted to say training, but it's more, we have our stages in life. And I just really love these stones because I think they bring a different energy. But I feel it's the same with music. I love classical music. And just sometimes when I drive through, instance, the US, I feel some classical music just feels odd here. It's almost too tight and too rigid. It needs something a bit more expansive. It's the same with some stones really fit in some places of the world or to some families or some people and really not to others.
Yeah, and I think that is such a dance, and it's so interesting as, your clients are like my clients, right? And you experience them in different ways. And I find it really interesting that you did not go the traditional stones route that everybody, you can go in any store in Zurich and choose those to your heart's content. But these, I couldn't believe some of these things you were telling me, and I've never heard them or seen these colors. And I think about the next generation within family systems and how they have this sense and sometimes overwhelming sense of having to stay within the traditional framework and bring forward the legacy or the ongoing way of being versus really wanting to have self-expression in their own way and how they can shine. And how can I shine and be as bright as I can when my colors might not be in those traditional stores, or where I don't feel like my stone is as valued, my expression is as valued as these others.
Big point.
I think that's an interesting metaphor to use for them.
Also, often I hear, you work with semi-precious stones, and I think, well, some Paraibas have 6-figure digit prices per carat. I'm not sure that they're semi-precious, and they have gone up, really 4 times in the last 10 years.